Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
ACS. May nagbago. May arte. May budget. Kala nyo lang yon. So solid. White Rose Papaya. Wow. White Rose. White Rose Papaya. Wow. White Rose. White Rose Papaya. May glow up with White Rose Papaya. White Rose Papaya. May puti power times 2. Kasi may papaya at niacinamide. May shea butter and tea tree oil pa. Kutis sulit ang glow up. Glow up with White Rose Papaya. White Rose Papaya. Kutis sulit ang glow up. ACS.
Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful.
Sa puso ng kalikasan, natatangi ang prutas ng mangosteen. Ito ay nagtataglay ng antioxidant compounds na alpha, beta at gamma mangosteen. Ang MX3 capsule ay isang food supplement na gawa sa natural na mangosteen. Ito ay tested and proven to help avoid knee joint pain discomfort para iwas-iwas sa sakit with long-term supplementation 2 capsules daily. MX3 capsule, tunay, natural at original.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Ang bango ng sampayan, tara na magsayaw!
Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful.
I am Rexeline Ann Cabaltero Reyes. I am a practicing health professional here in Ontario, Canada.
Let's go to MX3. Paano siya nakatulong?
When I tried MX3, aba! My body loves MX3. Magiging mommy ka na after ng shift mo. So I really need that push and help from MX3 capsule, which makes me a better me. MX3, dito ako bilib.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa!
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon.
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Hi, my name is Mayor Francis Israel Macabenta. I'm from San Diego. I'm an advanced clinician in neuro and spine surgery. As an advanced clinician, you have to make sure that you coordinate everything. Our goal is to have an optimal surgery outcome for the patient. Having MX3 in my life, taking it, knowing that this is in my body, it gives me a lot of confidence.
MX3, dito ako believe.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful.
Ang bango ng sampayan, tara na magsayaw!
Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful. Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful.
Ang bango ng sampayan, tara na magsayaw!
Fabcon, amoy nakaka-joyful. nakaka-joyful.
Wow, ang saya. Isang barangay na labada, puro mancha pa. Goodbye, pahinga.
Mommy, isang laba lang yan sa Pride Bar Blue. May powerful stain-away enzymes na malupit sa dumit mancha.
At di masakit sa kamay. Isang laba lang yan. Hello, pahinga. Hello, Pride Bar Blue. ACS. Maulan man, no worries na amoy kulog ang damit. Charm Fabcon, bangong kumakabloom, tanggal amoy kulog sa bango ng charm. Kaya gamit ko, Charm Fabcon with Bloom Fresh technology. Kills 99.9% of kulog-causing bacteria. May aroma burst pa of thousands of flowers and berries. Ang sampay sa loob, no amoy kulob. Bangong kumakabloom sa charm. Charm Fabcon. ACS.
Tanggaling-galing mo, Smart dishwashing paste ko. Pritong ulam na masebo, plato o kaldero. Tanggaling for everyday.
Ganyan, pag smart ang dishwashing paste, may double tanggaling formula. Tanggal ang sebo, tanggal ang bakterya.
Bahid para walang bahid, linis fantastic kami. Dalang plastic number 1 ko to. Tanggaling-galing mo, Smart dishwashing paste. ACS.
Ang impeachment court sa Senado at narinig natin ang report ni Raymond Alpaas kanina tungkol nga po sa mga naganap sa buong maghapon kung saan nakasalang ang ikalawang witness pa lang po ng impeachment trial. Ito po ay ang witness ng prosecution, ayan po, na si Attorney Jeremy Lotok, ang Regional Director ng NBI sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Dati rin po siyang NBI Cybercrime Division Chief. At syempre, siya po ang nakasalang at kino-cross-examine naman po ng defense team ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Bago po nag-break at nagkaroon po ng mga manifestations at mga katanungan naman po ang ilang mga senator judges. Pero syempre, tanungin naman po natin kung ano ang pinaka-latest sa prosecution. Naroroon po si RH12 Milky Rigunan. Magandang hapon, Manang Milky.
Magandang hapon, Karen, at sinasamantala na magkabilang panig na magkaroon muna ng mga press conferences habang naka-break ang impeachment trial. Nilinaw kanina ni NBI Regional Director Jeremy Lotok sa pagpapatuloy ng cross-examination sa kanya ng depensa. Ito ay patungkol kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos at sa First Family at hindi ang kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ito yung tinatawag na Oplan Romanov. Ginawa ni Lotok ang paglilinaw dahil nalilihis daw at pinalalabas ng depensa ng impormasyon ng Operation Romanov ay banta sa Vice Presidente. Ang November 23, 2004 briefing, ang sentro ng cross-examination kay Lotok ni Atty. Mark Dinluan at binasa nito ang tanong ni Princess Maui, isang online personality, na ang target ng Operation Romanov ay mismong ang Vice Presidente. Ang paliwanag ni Lotok, unang niyang narinig ang salitang Romanov mula mismo kay Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte sa Maysug Rally. Ayon kay Lotok, base sa mga investigasyon, walang validated information para suportahan kung totoong impormasyon sa Romanov. At sa ngayon, nagsasagwa ng briefing ang mga trial spokesperson ng prosecution sa pangunan na former Congressman Robert H. Barbers, Zia Alonto Adjong at Rene Co. At sabi nga nila, hindi daw nagiba ang depensa ang mga pahayag nitong si pangalawang witness nila dahil parang nililihis ang tunay na issue sa usapin ng grave threats na isinagawa ng pangalawang Pangulo laban sa Pangulo ng Bansa, unang ginang at kay former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Mahaba itong pag-cross-examination pa rin, Karen, ng depensa. Kaya ang pagtaya ay baka hindi daw maisalang itong si Attorney Zuleika Lopez. Dahil ang plano ay magre-redirect ang prosecution. Ibig sabihin, babalikan nila at sila uli ang magtatanong dito kay second witness ng impeachment trial dahil mukhang meron daw mga, sabihin na natin yung termino, paling impormasyon na ibinibigay dito sa ongoing hearing, kaya baka daw medyo mausog ng konti itong schedule para sa pagharap naman ni Zuleika Lopez dito sa impeachment trial na supposed to be ngayong hapon. So,
Manang Milky,
ito ay go ahead, Karen.
Oo, maganda rin yung naging maganda rin yung naging point ni Senator Judge Kiko Pangilinan kanina about the video na sinasalang kasi panglimang araw na ng impeachment trial pero tinitibag pa rin yung authenticity nung video, tama ba? And yung mga questions about kung ano ba talaga yung definition ng grave threats, ng inciting to sedition. So, parang kumbaga nasa pa lang tayo, definition of terms pa lang tayo, Manang Milky.
Definition of terms at spelling, yun ang mga
Oo.
Yun ang pinag-uusapan di ba? Spelling ng mama at ng mamu, tama ba ako? Miss Kay, yung mga ganun daw. Halata namang mga clerical error, wag na daw masyadong pagtuon ng pansin. Pero ito yung gustong palabasin ng depensa at nakapag-aaksaya tayo ng oras. Yun naman ang sabi ng panig naman ng prosecution. Pero hindi pa natin alam kung isasalang uli na si NBI Regional Director Jeremy Lotok para i-redirect ng prosecution dahil nakita nila na nalili sa mga pagtatanong pati yung mga kung ano-anong mga kaso daw at mga paniniwala kung totoo bang nagkamali o yung may mga ganong tanong. Pero simple nga ang dapat na sagutin at itanong sa kanya dito kung tunay ba yung video at meron bang denial ang Vice Presidente na hanggang ngayon hindi naman dinideny ng Vice President na sinabi niya ang lahat naman ito sa Pangulo at sa unang ginang at magiging former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. So babalik ako, Miss Kay, dahil nagpapatuloy pa rin ang press conference ng prosecution kaugnay nga ng break dito sa impeachment trial at malalaman natin kung ano ang susunod na strategy ng prosecution at kung matutuloy ang pagharap naman ni Attorney Zuleika Lopez. Para sa the Vice President Sara Duterte impeachment trial, the DCRA special coverage, ako si Milky Rigunan, una sa Pilipinas, una sa Pilipino.
Maraming salamat naman ng Milky Rigunan. So ayun po ang panig ng prosecution. Alamin natin ang panig ng depensa maya-maya lamang courtesy of RH7 Henry Uri. Pero sa ngayon balikan po natin ang impeachment trial after short break at ongoing na ulit ang pag-cross-examine o redirection na ba? Cross-examine ng depensa sa second witness po ng prosecution na si Attorney Jeremy Lotok ng NBI. Balikan po natin ang mga kaganapan sa Senado sa the impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte.
Veto, Your Honor. It's not too lengthy, Your Honor, please.
Okay. Ano ba ito?
At kasalukuyan pa rin po kayong nakatutok sa the impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte. At hinihintay lang po natin na magsimula. Ready na po, nasa witness stand na naman po ulit ang Regional Director ng NBI ng BARM na si Attorney Jeremy Lotok. Pero mukhang nakasalang na rin po, nasa podium na rin po ang prosecution, ang private prosecutor. Ayan, balikan na po natin.
Na narinig natin itong mga nakarang araw. Nandyan ang walang pakundangang pagmumura at ang pagbabanta ng planong ipapatay ang ilan sa at kadali ang pagplano sa pagpatay ng isang presidente. Paano pa kaya ang mga pangkaraniwan na mamamayan? Yung ganyang kriminal na pagtatangka ay hindi dapat pinapalampas. Yan ay aking papalagan. As a democratic country, we need to uphold the rule of law. Ako, bilang pinuno ng Executive Department at lahat ng mga nanunungkulan sa pamahalaan ay may sinumpaang tungkulin na tutupdin at pangangalagaan ang konstitusyon at ang ating mga batas. Kaya hindi tama ang pagpigil sa mga halal ng bayan sa paghahanap ng katotohanan. Hindi na sanang hahantong sa ganitong drama.
Your Honor, in fact, in the booth, we are satisfied. We may add at this point.
The tech is instructed to kindly pause and cease the playing of the video.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may proceed, sir.
Attorney Lotok, again, when did the press conference, the online press conference of the Vice President happen where she uttered that she already contracted a person to kill the President, for example?
Objection, Your Honor. It's misleading, Your Honor.
Why?
She never mentioned that there was a contract to begin with.
May kinausap na akong tao.
Reform Counsel.
Oh.
Reform the
where,
contract.
if I may, Your Honor, where the Vice President stated that she already contracted a person to kill the President.
Objection, Your Honor. The Vice President never said the word contracted.
Kinausap, Counsel.
Kinausap.
November 23, 2024, sir.
Now, November 23, 2024. Now, if you know, when did the President, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., issue that statement through the video that was shown a while ago?
If I'm not mistaken, I think November 24 or 25.
Of what year?
2024, sir.
So 1 or 2 days after the threats were made,
yes,
correct?
Sir.
Okay, now. You also mentioned earlier, in fact, I remember that instead of denying the threat.
Objection, Your Honor.
Wait, I'm not yet
Objection
done.
on the use of the word threat, Your Honor.
Kindly let him finish his question, Counsel. Counsel for the prosecutor, finish your question.
Yes, Your Honor. The question now is, you said that instead of denying her statement that she already spoke to a person to kill the President and the two others, you said that the Vice President did not deny that. Do you remember that?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Your Honor, just the basis, Your Honor. I mean, in fact,
Witness may answer.
Yes, Your Honor, based on the video dated November 26, 2024.
A video dated what?
November 26, 2024, Your Honor.
Your Honor, at this juncture, we move that video be presented again, but this time with a limited timestamp, Your Honor, please. And for the record, the same is marked as Exhibit P-4-26, Your Honor, please. It is sealed. I move that the defense may also observe the unsealing of such document, Your Honor, please.
Let the witness be the one to unseal it in full view of counsels for both parties.
Ready.
Thereafter, Tech is instructed to kindly play the timestamp to be identified by the counsel for the prosecutors.
And the timestamp is 10 minutes to 40 seconds to 11 minutes 50 seconds.
For the record, assisting counsel for the prosecutor, accompanied by assisting counsel for the respondent, are bringing the USB to the tech booth to be played.
Kasalukuyan po nating hinihintay na ma-upload ng tech sa Senate ang video na kanila pong ipi-play.
And then I was
Panoorin na po
asked
natin.
during a press briefing by a media person if I know of these plans, if you can say the word, if that is the correct word to use here, plans. So I answered. I was asked Romanov, and then I answered. I was told by two people, this is the first time I've heard of Romanov, so that is the third already. And I said, don't worry about my security. If they kill me, if I die, kapag pinatay ako, or kapag namatay ako, in the context of don't worry about my security. So this means pinatay ka. Diba? Kasi hindi ka naman mamamatay by heart attack in relation to your security. Diba? So, pag namatay ako, I already asked a person to take revenge against 3 individuals. So.
Okay, pause now. Mr. Witness, when did this event, where the Vice President uttered those statements, when did that happen?
Again, Your Honor, November 26, 2024.
That is 3 days after she uttered in that November 23 press conference that she already spoke to a person, and the person said yes,
Yes,
to
Your
kill the
Honor.
president to others now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now. Mr. Witness, what is your impression, if any, as to the emotional states of the Vice President when she confirmed that, in fact, she uttered those threats?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness is incompetent.
All
to
right,
answer.
good. Your Honor, I invoke Rule 130, Section 53 of the Rules of Courts. If I may read, opinion of ordinary witnesses, general rule, not allowed. But I think if we read the exceptions, Your Honor, it says the witness may testify, however, on his impressions of the emotion, behavior, condition, or appearance of a person. Section 53, Rule 130, specifically allows the question I just posed as to his impression as to the emotional state of the Vice President when she uttered those confirmation threats. It's in the rules, Your Honor.
Comment, Your Honor.
Comment?
Your Honor, the rules provide that the person should be sufficiently acquainted, Your Honor.
No.
And that is not the case here, so such rule does not apply, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Overruled. Witness may answer if he knows.
Okay,
Attorney
so
Loto, kindly answer if you know.
Yes, Your Honor.
what is the emotional state of the Vice President 3 days after November 23 when she confirmed that she uttered those statements?
Yeah, again, Your Honor, when we tried to connect that in the November 23, 2024 event and the November 26, 2024 utterances, it shows na hindi ho nagbibiro yung Vice Presidente nung inatter niya yung mga utterances nung November 23. At the same time, yung pagiging furious niya, at yun nga, yung sabi ko, yung fumingly mad ng November 2023, dala pa niya hanggang doon sa November 26 kasi nireiterate po niya, Your Honor, at inadmit po niya na meron siyang kinausap na tao to take revenge.
So she admitted it again 3 days after.
Objection, Your Honor, as unanswered.
All right, let me proceed, Your Honor, please.
Move on, counsel.
Now, Mr. Witness, earlier it was pointed out by the defense that now that line where the Vice President said that she spoke to a person and the person said yes to kill the President and the 2 others, that was just in response to a question by a certain Princess Maui. Do you
Objection, Your
remember
Honor,
that?
leading.
You're right. These are just preliminary questions. Your Honor, this is the purpose of redirect.
Let's move on. Let's move on, counsels.
Yeah.
We all know what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Witness may answer.
Did you consider that statement, that fact, that it was only in response to Princess Mau's statement? If any, if at all.
Objection, leading.
Witness may answer.
Well, I don't think so, Your Honor, kasi ang yung utterances, yung nature ng utterances, may kinausap na ako, ma'am, huwag kang mag-alala. So, ibig sabihin, even before the questions was asked, may kinausap na ho ang Vice Presidente base dun sa utterances niya.
Again, what is the significance, if any, and if you know, and if at all, that fact to your investigation?
Well, it's very much significant because we were able to determine there is intent on the part of the Vice President. The Vice President is determined insofar as that statement is concerned. At the same time, the utterances were not product of a temporary fit of anger or spur of the moment. In other words, the utterances, the threat was real, was serious, Your Honor.
No. You remember during cross-examination yesterday, the good counsel for the defense presented you with a diagram using their props that the NBI is under the DOJ. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
And that the DOJ is under the NBI is under the DOJ and the DOJ is under the President, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you were asked point blank whether the President, if they refer to the President as BBM, I would like to refer to our President as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. You were asked if he intervened. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Did he, in fact, intervene, the President, to your investigation?
Objection,
if you
Your
know,
Honor,
if you know, if you know.
Leading. Objection leading, Your Honor.
If you know.
Witness may answer.
None at all, sir.
What will you say that not at all?
Well, wala akong dumating sa akin na any information o any direction o any directive, even from the director, na nakipag-communicate ang Presidente sa NBI during that time na nag-iimbestiga kami.
If you know, what is the basis of your findings in filing the cases for grave threats and inciting to sedition against the Vice President? If you know.
I'm not sure what is the
basis of your findings.
Objection, vague.
Objection, there's an objection.
You may answer.
Basis of the findings? Well, as I have explained that, Your Honor, there were several factors that we considered before we come up into a conclusion. Yung una nga, yung manner, delivery, or the manner in which the utterances were spoken. And then the literal meaning of the statement, inexplain ko na rin ho yan. And then the nature of the instruction, relentless, huwag kang tumigil hanggat hindi mo mapapatay sila.
All right.
As well as the relationship between the parties involved, meaning the Vice President and the President, Your Honor.
No, thank you so much. Now, earlier, the counsel for the defense, in their argument that it was merely an exercise of the freedom of expression of the Vice President, when she uttered that, and they said that the Vice President is an ordinary citizen. Do you remember that?
Objection leading.
So, Your Honor.
Your Honor, again, this is the purpose of
Witness may
redirect.
answer.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with that? That the Vice President is an ordinary individual?
Definitely not, Your Honor. The Vice President is the second highest official of the land, sir.
Okay, now, let's proceed. Mr. Witness, yesterday, the defense devoted more than 2 hours in pointing, for example, number one, an alleged discrepancy in the subpoena, okay, dated November 6, 2024, and according to the defense, the NBI supposedly started its investigation on November 23, but there was already a subpoena dated November 6. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Witness, how do you characterize this error, if at all?
Typo, sir. Typographical error, sir.
Typographical. Para maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan, Attorney Lotok, ano ba ibig sabihin kung alam mo ng isang typographical error?
Well, basically, hindi ito substantial insofar as the document is concerned. Ito yung may mga, for instance, maling spelling o nagkamali lang ng date. Then pag makita mo naman dun sa surrounding circumstances, ito naman ang tinutukoy na date. Ugaya ng mga case numbers.
Case numbers. Now, what effect, if any, did this typographical error have on the statement of the Vice President threatening the President and the two others? What's the effect, if any, of these errors?
They don't have any effect at all insofar as the findings of the NBI is concerned, sir.
Why is that?
Well, because those typographical errors does not alter the fact that the video exists. It does not alter the fact that the Vice President uttered those statements. And it does not alter the fact that the findings of the NBI is that the Vice President committed the crime of grave threats and inciting to sedition.
Okay, now, the defense also mentioned that there is a lack of signature of Attorney Ria Asuncion on one of the several minutes of the interview, this time with a certain Jason Rubrico of SMNI. How do you characterize that error again, if you know?
Typo, sir.
Typo error. Sir. What effect, if any, does that typo error have on the statements of the Vice President threatening the President and the two others?
Again, sir, hindi ho nabago yung utterances ng Vice Presidente. Hindi rin ho nabago yung video. Hindi rin ho nabago yung findings namin na indeed kompleto yung mga ebidensya at ang Presidente ay nag-commit ng crime of grave threats and inciting to sedition.
Okay. Third point. What about the alleged discrepancy in docket numbers? How do you characterize that error?
Objection, Your Honor. The witness already testified during cross-examination that he was not privy to the assignment of docket numbers as that is the function of the DOJ. So he won't be competent to answer.
Your Honor, I do remember, despite that, the counsel asked several questions after that, and the witness was able to answer those questions.
Your Honor,
it's for the witness
Your
to answer
Honor,
that.
he mentioned, Your Honor, that he does not have personal knowledge.
In fact, counsel, if he gives a different answer, then you can address that in your recross.
Sorry.
Witness may answer.
Mm-hmm. This discrepancy in the docket numbers, how do you characterize this error?
Again, Your Honor.
Objection, Your Honor. He won't be competent to answer that because docket numbers are assigned by the DOJ, not by the NBI.
Exactly, that's the point.
Again, counsel, let him answer. What if he answers that he's not competent, then that's his answer. Witness may answer.
Well, kung docket number lang ho ang pag-uusapan, hindi ho nawala yung existence ng video. Hindi rin ho nabago na ang Vice Presidente ay nagsalita na meron na siyang kinausap na tao.
Attorney Lotok, your answer is not responsive though. Kindly answer the question of the counsel.
Okay, how do you characterize that error?
Typographical error.
Okay, next question. What effect, if any, does that typographical error have on the statements of the Vice President threatening the President, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., His Excellency, and the two others?
No effect at all, Your Honor. Hindi ho na-alter yung utterances ng Vice Presidente.
Okay, now, let's go to the affidavits of investigation which the good counsel mentioned in yesterday's cross-examination. During your cross-examination, you were asked questions concerning the January 30, 2025 affidavit of investigation. After that affidavit was submitted, now the question is, what action, if any, did the Department of Justice take, and if you know?
The Department of Justice evaluated the referral by the NBI. And then after evaluation, nag-issue po sila ng certification na kulang pa, insufficient yung inyong sinubmit. So dapat i-comply niyo muna itong mga requirements na to. So nagbigay ho sila ng, I think 7 ho ang nandoon. Yun po ang ginawa ng Department of Justice.
All right. Now, what did the NBI do, if any, in response to that recommendation from the DOJ?
The NBI complied the requirements of the Department of Justice. And as a matter of fact, nung na-comply na ho namin, the DOJ issued a certification stating to the effect na you have complied all the elements of the crime charge and you are now good for preliminary investigation, sir.
In fact, you also remember yesterday that you mentioned that the NBI also submitted a letter to DOJ. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Why did the NBI submit a letter to the DOJ, if you know?
No, well, I think that letter was signed by the then director Jaime B. Santiago, and the then director was notifying the Department of Justice that the NBI has already complied with all the requirements, and that the NBI is now submitting its affidavit with all the requirements attached therein, and with explanation, specifically yung requirement na kailangan may complaint ang recipient, gaya ng presidente, ang explanation ho doon sa letter na yon, na for purposes of preliminary investigation under the new NPS rules, hindi ho kailangan yung complainant himself, kundi pwede ang law enforcement agency gaya ng NBI na mag-file na complaint. Again, for purposes of preliminary investigation.
Attorney Lotok, if shown a copy of that letter of former Director Santiago, will you be able to identify the same?
Yes, sir.
Now, we are now in the process through Attorney Stephen Magallon of Sa Legal Law, showing you a copy of a letter dated February 11, 2025. We invite the defense to also peruse the same.
Yes, sir.
Also assisted by a lawyer also from Cebu. What relation, if any, does this document have with the one you mentioned?
The same docs that I mentioned, sir.
Your Honors, at this juncture, we move that the letter dated February 11, 2025 by Director Santiago, identified by the witness, where the NBI informed the DOJ that it already complied with all the requirements, be marked as Exhibit P-Roman numeral 4-34 for the prosecution.
This is not yet pre-marked, counsel.
Not yet pre-marked, introduced in response to the to the cross-examination by the defense.
Comment from the counsel for respondent?
We do not object.
No comment.
We do not object, Your Honor. Just a photocopy, Your Honor. Just a the comment is that the document is a photocopy.
That's what I was waiting for. Counsel may proceed.
Right on cue, we have a certified true copy of the same. We invite the defense.
Assisting counsel for the respondent, kindly confirm.
May we have a stipulation from the defense?
Is the certified true copy is the photocopy rather a faithful reproduction of the original or certified true copy presented by the assisting counsel for the prosecutor?
For the record, Your Honor, it's a photocopy.
Is it a certified true copy, counsel?
It is a certified true copy compared with a photocopy, so we are moving for stipulation that the photocopy is a faithful reproduction of the certified true copy of the same document.
Same manifestation, Your Honor.
Noted.
All right. Now, Mr. Witness, which part of the attached letter did the NBI explain that no law requires the offended party to execute a complaint to conduct preliminary investigation for grave threats?
I think first page, the last paragraph, which says, it is to be emphasized that on 2024 new rules on preliminary investigation and inquest proceedings, a law enforcement agency like the NBI can file a complaint for the purpose of preliminary investigation unless the crime to be filed falls under Section 5, Rule 110 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure.
Okay. Thank you so much. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may proceed, counsel.
Mr. Witness, you were asked whether the NBI already identified the particular individual contracted by the by the respondent, the vice president, to kill the president and the two others. Okay, you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now, to clarify for the record, what investigation, if any, did your own NBI Cybercrime Division conduct on this matter, if any, if you know?
Again, sir.
Okay.
Let me clarify.
You were asked whether the NBI already identified the particular individual contracted by the respondent to kill the president and the two others. And you said you remember
Objection,
that.
Your Honor,
Yes,
on the use of the word contracted. We never said contracted.
Reform Counsel.
That the vice president already spoke to a person to kill the president, and that person said yes, so that's a contract. Now, do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Objection, Your Honor. It's a conclusion of law made by the counsel for the prosecution.
Witness may answer.
All right. Now, to clarify, sorry, Your Honor, this is now the question, Attorney Lotok. No, to clarify for the record, what investigation did your own NBI Cybercrime Division conduct on the identity of this person that said yes to the order of the vice president to kill the president and two others?
Yes, Your Honor. Again, the reason why we sent a letter December 2, 2024 to the vice president is for that purpose. We informed the vice president that we are also investigating on that alleged threats against her life. Unfortunately, hindi ho siya nag-appear, so wala ho kaming makitang validated information. Then aside nun, we also issued subpoena to the media personalities who were present during those press conference and who have personal knowledge na nangyari yung event na yon. And in fact, tinanong po namin din sila isa-isa. Kilala niyo ba yung kinausap ng Vice Presidente? May idea ba kayo kung sino yung tao na yon? At bawat isa sa mga nasabina ho namin at nag-appear, sinabi ho na hindi ho namin kilala, wala po kaming alam, Your Honor. And then nung chinek namin yung open source, nung nagkanta kami ng open source investigation, kasi yun nga, sinasabi ko kanina, Your Honor, tinitrace namin yung sinabi ni Princess Maui na Romanov, ang nakita lang ho namin doon, yung statement ni Mayor Baste nung January 2024. Tiningnan din ho namin kung relevant ba yung pag-aalis ng 75 PNP personnel from the BPSPG at inilipat sa Manila para doon sa peace and security, parang i-augment yata sila. Kinonsider din ho namin yon, pero wala ho kaming na-validate na information relative to the threat against the life of the Vice President. But ganun pa man, Your Honor, I know for a fact na yung aming intelligence service ay continue hong nagmamonitor at naghahanap kung sino yung tao na yan. Baka ho sila ang pwedeng sumagot o yung aming director, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Lotok. Let's move to another point. Now, in your investigation, Attorney Lotok, what significance, if any, did the NBI give to respondent's own admission that she already spoke to a person to kill the president and the two others? What significance, if any?
Well, mabigat ho yun kasi lumalabas na hindi lang ho siya nagjo-joke doon nung ni-reiterate niya yon, nung inadmit niya nung November 26. Ibig sabihin, may intention ho doon ang Vice Presidente base doon sa mga utterances na yon. Pinag-isipan ho niya yan. In fact, I can classify it as...
Objection, Your Honor. The answer is already based on his own interpretation. May we move, Your Honor, that it be stricken off the record?
Your Honor, whose interpretation should he be answering?
Witness will please complete his answer and then Chair will consider the objection of the counsel for respondents.
Yeah.
Finish your answer, Attorney Lotok.
Yes po, Your Honor. Yun nga, sinasabi ko, it was contemplated, sir.
Okay, now, Attorney Lotok.
Your Honor, move to strike it off the record, considering that he included conclusions of law in his
Your Honor, he's
answer.
a lawyer. I mean, you have been asking questions on the basis of law, and we did not complain. Now I'm asking question to him as a lawyer. Then
Counsel,
you are moving.
please, motion is denied. Let it remain in the record for whatever purpose it may serve. Let the senator judges give it its due weight according to their discretion. Witness, counsel may proceed.
Thank you so much. Mr. Witness, you were also asked about the NBI's alleged lack of coordination with certain government agencies such as the PNP, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the National Security Council in its investigation on the threats to the President and the two others. Do you remember being asked that?
Objection, Your Honor. It was not covered by my cross-examination. It
Your
was
Honor, please.
a query from one of the senator judges.
In the discretion of the court, the counsel can ask questions not covered by the cross-examination. We'll allow it.
Now, could you explain to the court how is this so, if you can?
Insofar as communication with other agencies, the Cybercrime Division back then, nakafocus ho kami sa investigation aspect. Now, pagdating doon sa security ng highest officials, again, for a fact, I know na may ginagawa yung aming intelligence service insofar as communicating with other relevant agencies gaya ng AFP, PNP, PCO, and even National Security Council. Yun nga lang, yun sa amin, Your Honor, nakafocus kami dun sa investigation. Ngayon, kung may binababaho ang direktor, base sa mga impormasyong nakalap niya from different agency, mag-i-instruct po siya sa amin.
Alright, now, let me proceed. Mr. Lotok, you were asked during cross-examination about the investigation that you conducted on the alleged threats to the life of the Vice President. You were asked whether there was an affidavit of investigation or report on such investigation that you conducted, and you answered there was none, correct? You remember having said that there is no affidavit of investigation?
For the Vice President?
For the Vice President,
yes,
okay?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And you said, but there was an investigation, but there is no affidavit of investigation.
Yes,
Then the question now is, so whatever happened, what happened to that investigation?
Again, Your Honor, since wala ho kaming ma-establish na validated information, hindi ho gaya dito nung sa presidente na may apparent commission of crime, dito ho kasi wala kami mapagsimulan, hindi ho na kami pwedeng mag-produce ng affidavit of investigation kung that's the case. Ang ginawa ho namin, although nag-aantay kami ng validated information at nangangalap kami, continue ho na nagmo-monitor yung aming intelligence service. I know that for a fact kasi yun yung trabaho nila. Siguro ho pag sila ang tinanong natin, baka meron silang masabi kung ano yung nangyari dyan, ano yung update niyan. Maging ho ang aming director.
All right, now. But, Mr. Witness, you were also confronted with the facts that a certain Princess Maui mentioned in that press conference a certain Operation Romanov that allegedly is a security threat to the Vice President. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now, what did you do, if any, on this information?
Yeah, security threat. Ang nakita naming relevant dyan, yun nga po, yung pag-aalis ng 75 personnel sa BPSPG, then nilipat dun sa Manila. Then aside from that, base ho kasi sa record ng COA, meron pa ring 335 more or less na naiwan na security personnel ng Vice President. At ang narinig ko yata kay Honorable yung sa comment ng Ombudsman na ba siya noon o Secretary of Justice siya na yung number na yan mas malaki pa sa bilang ng security personnel ng Presidente.
Okay, now, I'm referring to, Mr. Witness, to Operation Romanov. Okay, what did you do, if any, on that information offered by Princess Maui, information on Operation Romanov?
Objection asked and answered.
No.
That was his answer in the previous
asked
question.
and answered, Counsel.
All right. Now, what else did you do, if any, in relation to the investigation, your investigation on the security threat to the Vice President?
Yes, Your Honor. Yung paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, yung open source, we trace, kung ano yung mga relasyon nung security threats, yung Romanov na yan, uulitin ko, na rinig namin yan first time sa bibig ni Mayor Baste during Maisog Rally in January 2024. And so far as the NBI is concerned, during that time, nung ako yung hepe, wala ho kaming na-establish na validated information vis-a-vis yung threat to life against the Vice President, sir.
Okay, now, you also mentioned that you issued a subpoena to the Vice President and a letter asking her to shed light on the threats she said she was facing. You remember having mentioned
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now, again, what was the response of the Vice President to the NBI's official investigation to her to appear before it to shed light on the threats she was complaining about?
Based on
Your
the
Honor,
second letter, sir.
What is it, Counsel?
Your Honor, that is misleading, Your Honor, because the subpoena was for her to answer.
I think he mentioned letter, Counsel.
Yeah.
I heard letter, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's focus on that letter, if you may.
Yes, I think that was the December 2, 2024 letter, if I'm not mistaken. And then nag-reply ho sila ng letter at sinabi po doon ng lawyers na the Vice President is confident that the NBI will also investigate the alleged threat against her life. Yun po yung tenor nung letter na yun,
Now,
sir.
Mr. Witness, you also mentioned that since the Vice President did not heed the letter you issued, you were not able to elicit information from her. You remember having said that, correct?
Yes, sir.
However, on the part of the threats to the life of the President and the two others, you did not need to interview them personally to proceed with the investigation. You remember having said that?
Yes, sir.
Now, the question now is for clarification before our honorable senator judges, what's the difference? Why the difference between the two?
Again, ulitin ko po, Your Honor, insofar as the threat against the life of the Vice President, we have not established a validated information. That remains to be allegation. Insofar as the threat based on the utterances against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House, that was apparent. Nasa video, narinig ho namin. Therefore, based sa aming jurisdiction, which is primary jurisdiction, kaya ho kami nag-imbestiga kaagad doon.
Okay, 3 more points, Your Honor, before the prosecution winds up its
Thank you.
redirect. Now, it was also raised during the discussion, during cross-examination, that the Vice President was merely exercising her freedom of speech and she was not committing a crime of inciting to sedition. Do you remember being confronted with that issue?
Yes, sir.
Now, you tell the Honorable Court, what is your response to that issue, if any?
Objection, Your Honor, it will call for his opinion.
Exactly, he's a
Will call
lawyer.
for?
Opinion, Your Honor, he's not an expert on the matter.
He's a lawyer.
Witness may answer if he knows.
Well, again, I've already said, Your Honor, to reiterate, if the second highest official of the land uttered openly and in public that she had already contracted a person to kill the President, the First Lady, the former Speaker of the House, and she instructed that person to be relentless in killing them, and that person said yes, we failed to see any amount of freedom of speech in that utterances. Number 2, should we allow that kind of argument? Should we allow that to become the norms of our society? Then nobody would prevent from anyone from doing the same. Imagine the chaos, the disorder, and the anarchy, Your Honor. And number 3, as a lawyer and being in the law enforcement, freedom of speech protects lawful expression. But it does not protect utterances that satisfies the elements of a criminal offense like this one, Your Honor.
A criminal offense like this one. Now, as a lawyer, Attorney Lotok, when the Vice President utter in public that she already spoke to a person to kill the President, the First Lady, and the two others. As a lawyer, did the Vice President betray public trust?
Objection, Your Honor. That will call for a conclusion of law already. And
Honor,
as a lawyer, it will call also for his
Your Honor,
personal opinion.
If I do recall, the counsel were propounding questions on also
Your Honor,
issues
may we
of
get
law,
a ruling on the
felony
motion
versus
and the objection,
crime, what is
please?
the penalty? I'm also asking the same line of questions, Your Honor. What is sauce for the goose should also be sauce for the gander, Your Honor.
A similar question was asked by the counsel for the respondent, and the witness may answer if he knows. If he knows.
Yes, Your Honor, as a lawyer.
She betrayed public trust.
Yes, Your Honor.
Last question. Listen, Attorney Loto. As a matter of law, if the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is killed, God forbid, who assumes the presidency?
Objection, Your Honor.
The Vice President, sir.
Speculative.
Asked and answered. The Vice President. No more redirect, Your Honor.
Before recognizing counsel for respondent for his recross, Chair would like to recognize Senate President Gatchalian for his interjections. You may proceed, sir, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Attorney Lotok, napakinggan ko kanina yung isang sagot ninyo at sinabi niyo dito, just this afternoon, yes, we do believe that the Vice President had contracted. Naputo lang siya, but obviously contracted someone to commit a crime or to kill the President and the others. Kahapon, narinig ko na ipinapasa niyo sa investigative division ng inyong or intelligence service ng inyong ahensya itong tanong na ito. So, ano ba? Meron bang nakontratang papatay o walang nakontratang papatay?
Yes, Your
Dahil
Honor.
this morning lang sinabi nyo, you believe na merong nakontrata.
Yes, Your Honor. Base ho doon sa utterances, we believe the Vice President na hindi ho siya nagbibiro nung sinabi niya yon. So, ang stand po namin, meron na ho siyang kinausap na tao.
Anong ebidensya na meron kayo o meron ka o meron yung Cybercrime Division na made you believe na merong nakontrata?
Una, Your Honor, kung yung pagbabasihan po namin is yung November 23 na may kinausap siya, pwede hong sabihin na nagjo-joke lang siya doon kahit galit na galit siya or etc. But then nung na-incorporate po natin yung November 26 na ni-reiterate pa niya at sinabi niya doon openly and in public na totoo may kinausap na siya to take revenge kung sakaling mamatay siya. So ang belief po namin may kinausap ang Vice Presidente. Now, insofar as kung sino yung kinausap na yon, insofar as yung existence ng tao na yon, ang makakasagot po, Your Honor, since trabaho nila yun, yung aming intelligence service po, o kaya yung aming
So
director.
yung belief mo ay nanggaling doon sa mga statements
Yes,
ni
Your
Vice
Honor.
President Sara. No more.
Statements and admission, sir.
Yun doon lang nanggaling. Wala nang iba.
Insofar as the Cybercrime Division, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. And then, meron din siyang reply. Na sinabi niyo nga kanina, nagpadala kayo ng letter dated
December 2, Your Honor.
December 2. And may reply rin si VP na dinideny niya na merong grave threat. No? So pag dineny niya na ginawa niya yung grave threat, obviously dineny niya na may kinontrata siya. Di ba? So bakit pa rin ninyo i-file o recommend na mag-file ng grave threat and inciting to sedition kung may denial na?
Hindi ho, Your Honor. Ang na-establish po namin doon yung the elements of the crime of grave threat. So nung nakita namin na nasatisfy siya at na-comply siya, nung nirefer po namin ito sa Department of Justice, nag-concur sa amin ng Department of Justice na indeed na comply ninyo and therefore tuloy yung proseso.
But what made you not bakit hindi nyo tinanggap itong paliwanag ni VP Sara sa kanyang letter? Dahil kaagad dito sa letter niya may denial na ginawa niya yung grave threat and therefore wala rin na kontrata, no? Kasi magkadugtong yun.
Well, Your Honor, mere denial would not discount the fact na na-utter niya yon at may kinausap na siyang mga tao. Yun nga ang problema doon, kaya namin siya gustong makausap personally para makapag-tanong pa kami ng other questions para makita namin totoo ba tong kinontrata ng Vice Presidente o kinausap o hindi. Kaya lang, Your Honor, wala ho doon, hindi ho siya nag-appear. Yung kanyang sagot is mere denial lang, walang mga basihan, even circumstantial na basihan. So hindi ho namin siya sinama sa factor in considering whether or not a crime of grave threat has been committed by the Vice President.
With your permission, Mr. Presiding Officer, just one last question. Nakita niyo ba kung merong capability si Vice President Sara?
Definitely po. Yeah.
Ano ang nakita niyong mga ebidensya kung meron siyang capability gawin yung kanyang sinabing pagbanta at yung kanyang gagawin?
Well, for one, she is the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. And number two,
hindi naman porket Vice President ka, may capability ka gumawa nun. Diba?
Yes, Your Honor, not necessarily. But alam naman po natin yung background, naging presidente ang...
Hindi ka naman porket Senate President, may capability ka gumawa nun.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, anong ebidensya na meron kayong nakita na kaya niyang gawin yun?
Alam naman po natin yung background na yung tatay niya na dating presidente ay hinaharap ngayon yung kaso sa ICC dahil sa mga extrajudicial killings, etc. So, tiningnan namin yon na indeed being in that situation, may capability ho, aside from the fact na vice presidente siya.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Senator Judge Ejercito, thereafter Senator Judge Ontiveros for their interjections. You may proceed, sir, when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Attorney Lotok, given that the Vice President repeated her alleged threats as presented kanina, sabi niyo twice or thrice sa mga videos.
Yes, sir.
Did you consider her persistent in making the threat or in going through with the threat, because these two are different?
Yes, Your Honor. I think yung in-explain ko po yan yung nature of instruction. Kasi yung nature of instruction niya, sabi niya doon, pag namatay ako, huwag kang tumigil hanggat hindi mo mapapatay sila. So there, that's indicative of persistence na determined din po ang Vice Presidente na gawin yon at porsigido siya na doon sa kanya mga utterances kasi maliwanag po na sa instruction na hanggat hindi mo sila mapapatay, huwag kang titigil.
So hindi ba ito tinatawag na persistent lamang doon sa threat kung may mangyari sa kanya? If something happens to her, di ba? Parang yun yung nasa...
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the heat of the moment still matter here? Kasi maaring dahil sa bugso ng galit o sa takot ng gabing yun, nang nangyari dahil sa sitwasyon na nandun po sila sa batasan.
Again, Your Honor, pwede pong mag-matter yan kung yan lang ho ang pinagbasihan namin yung November 23, 2024. Kaya lang, gaya nga ng explanation ko, kinonsider namin yung mga previous statements na may patterns, may consistencies, yung October 18, 2024, as well as after ng November 23, which is November 26, 2024. So marami ho ang mga factor na kinonsider namin bago kami nag-conclude na indeed may violation ang Vice Presidente.
Dahil dun po sa Attorney Lotok, sa Israel versus People, GR number 265736, dated November 19, 2025, sinabi ng Korte Suprema na sa pagtukoy kung may mens rea o kriminal na intensyon, kinakailangan ding umiral ang pagpupursige or persistence na
Yes, sir.
nabanggit natin.
Yes, sir.
Kung walang ganitong pagpupursige, walang krimeng grave threats.
Yes, sir.
Gaya ng mga bantang binitiwan lamang sa tindi ng galit o bugso ng damdamin, no? Yung nabanggit natin kanina.
Opo.
O bilang biro at hindi naman sinundan ng anumang kilos o karagdagang pagbabanta.
Yes, sir. Insofar as persistence is concerned, nakita po natin yan noong November 23 utterances. At the same time, persistence in the sense na aside doon sa November 23, inadmit po niya at nireiterate niya yon in the November 26, 2024 statement.
Dahil meron po sa sa Article 282, no, yung threats without persistence are not considered grave.
Yes, sir.
So, in conclusion, Mr. Presiding Officer, sa inyong palagay, ano-anong ginawa ng Vice Presidente ang may tuturing na pagpupursige o persistence sa kanyang mga banta?
Well, Your Honor, October 18, sinabi na niya doon na I imagine myself cutting his head, na gusto kong tanggalin yung ulo niya ba. In fact, may instance doon na sinabi niya na pag di kayo tumigil, huhukayin ko yung tatay nyo, tatapon ko sa West Philippine Sea. Merong ganun nung October 18. And then pagdating dito sa November 23, she was hurling profanities and invectives habang galit na galit siya. Sinasabi niya, this country will go to hell dahil yung tao na yan na nakaupo hindi marunong maging presidente. Wala akong kinukonsider na mas mataas sa akin. At the same time, he was lying through his teeth para lang makuha yung boto ng mga tao. And then nung kinausap niya na papatay sa 3. At the same time, dinugtong ho namin yung November 26. Inulit pa ho niya yon na aside na persistence na yung nature ng kanyang utterances, inulit pa ho niya nung November 26 openly and in public na indeed may kinausap siya to take revenge na kung mamatay siya, patayin niyo yung 3. That's much persistence kung i-establish po natin yung persistence, Your Honor.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Latok. That's all. No more further questions, Mr. Presiding.
Thank you, Senator
Thank you
Judge. Senator Judge Ontiveros, you may proceed, ma'am, when you're ready. You have 2 minutes.
Salamat, Mr. Presiding Officer. Mr. Witness,
Yes po, Your Honor.
nabanggit niyo kay Senator Judge Ejercito, hindi ngayon lang, kanina, yung admission against interest. Sabi niyo po, ang mga pahayag ng Vice Presidente ay maituturing na admissions against interest. Tama po?
Yes, ma'am.
May diferensya po ba sa pagtrato sa pahayag ng isang tao kung pabor sa kanya o against sa interest niya ang admission?
I think so, ma'am.
Ano po?
Kasi base dito sa issue natin, ang Vice Presidente is abogada, alam na po niya yon na the moment she uttered those kind of statements, pwede ho siyang mag-fall in any criminal violation. So pagdating ho nung November 26, instead of avoiding mentioning those utterances, instead of denying instead of denying that she made those utterances, ang sinabi po niya, ni-reiterate niya, yes, sinabi ko yan, na someone has to take revenge kung sakaling mangyari ito, mamatay ako. Yun po, Your Honor, ang nakita namin. Kaya ko nasabi na admission against interest po yun.
So kung sa halip na i-reiterate niya, i-deny niya yung naunang sinabi, kung sinabi niya na hindi ko talaga minimin yan or may sinabi siyang maituturing na pabor sa kanya, iba po yung pagtrato nyo sa ganyang klaseng pahayag sana.
Baka maging iba, Your Honor.
Okay. So, ano po yung diferensya at saka halaga dun sa bigat na binibigay ng batas dun sa admission against interest?
Well, pinapakita ho rito in the natural order of things, hindi ho i-admit ng isang tao yung isang bagay na ikakasira niya o na ikakaharap niya sa isang paglilitis, something like that. Kapag ho inadmit ng isang tao yung isang bagay na ikakasira niya, maliwanag na ginawa niya yon, sinabi niya yon, at determinado siya sa mga pangyayaring yon o porsigido siya sa mga pangyayaring yon.
So masasabi po bang mabigat o napakabigat ang diferensya, ang halaga na ibinibigay sa isang o sa ilalim ng batas ang isang admission against interest?
Yes, Your Honor. Opo.
Okay. Panghuli na lang po, Mr. Witness. Bakit nga po pinaparusahan ng batas ang grave threats kahit pa hindi natuloy sa physical act?
Well, Your Honor, for purposes of peace and order among the populace, pag hindi ho in-address yung speeches o yung utterances na magka-qualify as grave threat, magkakagulo ho yung mga tao. Pwede na lang ho sabihin kahit na sino na papatayin kita pag ito nangyari, gagawin ko to sa'yo pag ito nangyari. So I think the wisdom of the law is to avoid the disorder, the anarchy, and the chaos that it would create, Your Honor.
So yung sinasabi niyong wisdom of the law ay hindi lamang sitahin o parusahan yung isang bagay na tumuloy sa physical act, kundi mag-serve ng deterrent para gawin ng taong iyon or ng ibang tao,
yes,
yung
Your Honor.
grave threats?
Pwede po yun, Your Honor, to serve as a deterrent, Your Honor.
So may preventive na value din nakikita kayo?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Bukod sa curative?
Opo, Your Honor.
Alright. Salamat po, Mr. Witness. Salamat po, Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Senator Judge Antiveros. Senator Judge Rafi Tulfo, thereafter Senator Judge Alan Cayetano before the recross of counsel for respondent, if any. Senator Judge Tulfo, you may proceed and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Mr. Witness, aware ba kayo at one point in time, I just don't remember what date was it, na pinulled out yung certain numbers of security personnel ni BP Sara?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the news, may nakita po kami noon.
When was that? When did that happen?
2024 yata, yung 75 PNP personnel.
Correct.
From BPSPG, sir.
Was that before the utterance of PP Sara sa press con or after?
Before, sir.
Before.
I think that's before, sir. Yeah.
So would it be possible na because of that, nakapag-isip siya na meron threat against her life because yung security niya being pulled out and walang binigay na reason kung bakit, kaya maaaring inisip niya na, well, medyo sabi nga sakali na praning at...
Very much possible, sir. Po, yun po.
But hindi niyo ba inimbestigahan bakit na pinull out yung security details niya?
May nakita ho kami, sir, doon sa November 26 na video, kung nalimutan ko lang yung timestamp niya, may sinasabi siyang issue sa security niya doon nga sa BPSPG, parang from military attached unit, ginawang under na ng Presidential Security Command. I'm not familiar with that. So,
okay. Sino pong nag-cause ng pull-out? Sino pong nag-utos? Saan galing yung utos?
Hindi ko siya masyado. Pero I think part ng reorganization, Your Honor, ng PSG, if I'm not mistaken.
Part ng reorganization. So, ilan po yung na-pull out? 75?
Hindi ko po alam kung yan yun. Ang sinasabi ko po, Your Honor, yung dating BPSPG is under ng attached unit ng Armed Forces of the Philippines, kung di ako nagkakamali. And then, inilagay na siya sa ilalim ng Presidential Security Command. Yun po yung sinabi ng Vice Presidente during November 26 na security threat dahil dun sa event na yun. Yun po yung tiningnan din namin yan. Pati nga yung 75 personnel. Kaya lang again, hindi po siya sufficient na mag-establish ng apparent violation of any criminal offense. Kasi nga, para siyang normal na function ng agencies and departments.
Yeah, Mr. Witness, yun sa akin na kasi yung pag-pull out ba ng security, was it sudden? Did it, I mean, ano yung naging dahilan? At kanino galing yung order para i-pull out yung ilang numbers of security details niya, particularly PNP, and then sabi nyo nga, yung sa PSG, nabawasan din ba? Base sa inyong investigasyon, bakit nga po nangyari yon? Anong nag-trigger noon?
Opo, yung sa 75, ang naalala ko po sa news, parang inilipat ho sila, Your Honor, sa Manila kasi mayroong issue ng kailangan nilang i-augment dahil may peace and order issue sa Manila. So yun ang nakita kong nasa news na ginawa ng PNP o reason ng PNP bakit mayroong ganong pull-out. Then nung nakita ko namin, ilan na lang yung natira sa Vice Presidente. Nung chinek ko namin yung news, yung per record ng COA, if I'm not mistaken, meron pa siyang 335 na security personnel.
So marami pang naiwan?
Yes po, Your Honor. And
okay.
In fact, kung di ako nagkakamali, narinig ko po yung sinabi ni Honorable Boying Rimulya na yung bilang na yan, mas marami pa doon sa bilang ng mga security personnel ng Presidente. So nakita ko namin na hindi siya sufficient para maging valid basis ng investigation. Hindi ko katulad dito sa threat against the President na apparent po yung utterances na nangyari.
Okay, dalawang katanungan na lamang, Mr. Witness. So, base sa inyong investigasyon at karanasan, ilan ba dapat ang security detail ng isang Vice President?
Sorry po, Your Honor, wala po akong idea kung ilan po dapat yung...
Last na lamang. So, nung na-pull out yung ilan sa mga security personnel niya, sabi niyo nga 75, right? Sa PNP and then meron pa atay sa PSG. Nagreklamo ba siya? Sa inyong pagkakaalam?
Doon sa November 26, Your Honor, I think ang isa sa issue niya na may threat sa security is yung paglipat ng BPSPG from attached unit ng AFP na maging under siya ng Presidential Security Command. Yun po yung narinig namin. Pero yun dito sa 75 personnel, insofar as I'm concerned, wala akong nakita sa reports, sa news, sa social media na nagreklamo siya na nawala yung 75. Pero baka malihiw ako, baka mayroon akong hindi nakita. Pero insofar as I'm concerned, wala akong nakita sa news na nagreklamo siya dun sa 75 transfer ng PNP personnel from BPSPG dinala dun sa Manila, Your Honor.
At hindi na siya nag-request ng augmentation o dagdag dun sa mga nawala ng security detail?
Mukhang hindi na po, Your Honor. Wala ko kaming nalaman kung may ni-request ba siyang dagdag.
So is it possible na dahil doon sa pag-pull out ng security details, nasabi ko na kanina, natanong ko na again one more time, na yun probably ang tinitingnan na reasons ng mga sumusuporta sa kanya, siya or anybody sa circle niya na eto na siguro yun.
Tama po kayo, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Senator Judge Alan Cayetano, you have 2 minutes, sir. You may proceed when you're ready.
Sir Presiding Officer, dear colleagues, susundan ko lang po yung kay Senator Risa, Senator Judge Risa at Senator Judge JV at yung ibang nagtanong sa admission against interest. You stated this already, but just for the record, you viewed the whole video, right? The whole 2-hour video.
The November 23,
yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Yeah, isang beses, sir.
Isang beses lang?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many times there has the Vice President made admissions against her interest?
No, sir. Ang tinutukoy ko pong admissions against interest doon sa November 26, sir.
No, sabi mo yung November 23 din na ayaw ng defense gamitin contracted, so yung kinausap is also an admission against her interest, di ba?
Di, sir. Ang sinasabi ko pong admissions against interest, yung November 26 video po, sir.
Na sinasabi niyang totoo yun at hindi niya sinasabi.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Opo.
So, doon sa November 23, may nakita ka doon na admissions against interest?
Insofar as I'm concerned, na ni-reiterate niya?
Hindi, not reiterate. Siguro para malinaw. in your mind, or as a lawyer or as an NBI agent, what is an admission against interest?
Yun nga po yung ini-explain ko po kanina. Ito po yung isang bagay na ginawa ng isang tao na...
Hindi ginawa, sinabi.
Sinabi
kasi it's admission eh.
Apo, sinabi ng isang tao na ikakasira niya, but then instead of denying na sinabi niya yon, inadmit pa niya ito, ni-reiterate niya.
Very clear yon. And you and Agent John Mark Kalilong said that the basis of the investigation was the November 23 video, the basis sa inyong affidavit of investigation sa nag-file ng kaso is certain portions of the November 23 video.
As well as
other evidence. Okay.
Apo.
Sa November 23, ilan ang admission niya against interest?
Ang sinasabi ko pong admission against interest
This
yung
is a new
November
question.
26.
This is a new question. If you evaluated well the November 23 video, is there any circumstance in that video that you believe that the Vice President made admissions against her interest?
Plain ho yung utterance niya doon, Your Honor. Yung nakita lang ho namin, yung utterances niya. Insofar as I'm concerned, yung admission against interest nangyari nung November 26.
Mr. Witness, sagutin niyo na lang ako. Lahat ng admissions are utterances.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Admissions is verbal. Diba? Hindi to yung parang admission sa court. Pwede mo i-admit yung documentary evidence, pwede yung object evidence, pwede yung statements. When we talk about admissions against interest, especially in context of what we're talking about, may statement na laban sa interest niya.
Yes, sir.
So tinatanong ko, dun sa buong video, meron ka bang nakita? Wala. Yes or no lang yun, meron or wala. O meron at wala, hindi yes or no. Kayo nag-evaluate nun eh. Meron o wala? Admissions against her interest.
Yes, sir. The fact na in-utter niya yun.
Which one nga? So meron ilan at ano yun? A little leeway, Mr. Presiding Officer, kasi hindi natukoy masyado yung tanong.
Senator Judge Alan may proceed.
Yeah. So which statement that? That one you're mentioning now. So yung sagot mo meron.
Ang understanding ko, sir, nung sinabi ko yan, I'm referring to the November 26, 2024.
Mr. Witness, paulit-ulit tayo.
Yes, sir.
Burahin mo na yung pinag-uusapan natin you're referring to. I'm asking you a direct question.
Yes,
Sa
sir.
November 23, meron o wala bang statements na you will consider in your professional as a lawyer and as an NBI agent in charge of investigating this? Meron ba siyang admissions against interest?
Ang tinutukoy ko lang po again, Your Honor, yung 26.
No, I don't care.
Wala po yung 23.
I'm sorry. I don't care, Mr. Presiding Officer, kung anong tinutukoy mo. I'm asking you a direct question. November 23 video. Meron o wala siyang admissions against her interest doon?
Attorney Lotok, yes, no, I do not know, I do not remember. We're referring to November 23. Not 26.
Yeah, I do not know, sir. Ang nire-refer ko na...
Yeah, don't tell me na. So you do not know. Okay. When she said, kung papatayin ako, may kausap na ako, patayin niyo yung tatlo. Is that an admission against interest? Yes or no?
Based on that utterance, sir, yes, I think so.
Yes. O kakasabi mo lang kanina, I don't know. Ngayon, yes. O ano pa sa video na yon na admission against interest? Meron o wala? Or I don't know?
Yung utterances na yun, sir.
Sir, bukod nga doon.
To me, sir, yung utterances na yun, that's admission against
Sir,
interest.
klaro na yon. Tinanong ka na ng presiding officer, sagot mo, I don't know. Tinanong kita ng diretso na sa video, biglang you know, biglang sasabihin mo na yun utterance na yon. So ang tanong ko na ngayon, bukod doon, aside from that,
sir, ulitin ko po yung sagot ko.
No, you don't need to answer.
Yung sinabi ko po na
no, I'm asking you,
interest.
aside from the utterance, the statement, na kung papatayin nila ako, patayin sila. Is there any other utterance in that video that you would consider admission against interest?
So far as I remember, wala na po yun.
Wala na, okay. When the Vice President said, yung pinamigay sa DepEd, isn't that an admission against her interest kung may pinamigay?
Siya po yung namigay, sir?
Ikaw ang nanood ng video, ikaw nag-evaluate. Ako pa magsasabi sa'yo kung ano laman ng video. Akala ko ba, tinignan nyo ng mabuti yung video? Bakit hindi mo alam yung laman ng video?
DSW, sir, pwede ko pong tingnan yung sinasabi
No,
specific.
so you do not know what the alaman ng video?
Again, tinignan ko po ang video one time and ang nag-review po ng video yung agent on case.
Yes, but you're the agent in charge and you're the one who filed the affidavit. Okay,
Yes, sir.
next question. Nung sinabing mag-people power, tapos ang sinabi niya, hindi yun yung solusyon. O kung nag-people power, sino magiging presidente? Kung nag-people power at mawawala ang Pangulong Marcos, sino magiging presidente?
Siya, sir.
So hindi ba admission against her interest din? Siguro sa interest niya maging presidente. Pero ang sinabi niya, what?
I think so, sir.
Okay. So I mentioned 3. So my next question. When you have an admission against interest, do you take the whole admission or you can cut it up into parts?
Again, Your Honor, yung
If my admission against interest is 1 sentence or 1 paragraph or 3 sentences, can you take 1 sentence and say yun lang yung admission and the 2 other sentences are not? Can you divide
I think it
up?
should be the whole, sir.
The whole sentence. So the whole sentence niya, nung sinabi niyang kung papatayin ako, is pinagbibintangan niya yung 3 na papatayin siya. So if you say it's an admission against interest and you believe it, you also have to believe na papatayin siya nung 3. The same thing, if you're going to say na namudmud siya sa DepEd, ang sinabi niya galing sa First Lady yung pera. So you're also going to have to believe that. So if you're going to believe her na yung ibang sinabi is seditious, ngayon sinabi nga niya hindi solusyon ng people power. So as the evaluator, bakit hindi consistent yung evaluation niyo nung video?
No, I think yung insofar as people power is concerned, I think sinabi niya yata na yes ma'am, natutuwa ako dun sa ginagawa niyo.
Hindi.
You know, pwede ko pong ulitin.
Let the record speak for itself. It's on
Yes,
page 26. Same paragraph nung sinabi niyang papatayin, no? But having said that, last question, no? Bakit sa cybercrime ni-refer? Ba't hindi sa anti-terrorism or sinabi mo meron intel group? Bakit sa cybercrime?
Your Honor, my cyber aspect po kasi yung violation.
Okay. What are the aspects of the alleged threat? One is the cybercrime grave threat. The other one is a possible assassination threat, right?
No, Your Honor. Yung sinasabi kong my cyber aspect, the utterances was made through
cyber. And the utterance, in accordance with you, constitute grave threat.
Yes, sir.
But if she meant it, and if it is true, and if it is accurate, it's also an assassination plot, isn't it? Kung totoo yung utterance niya, napapapatay kita, may kausap na ako, hindi ba assassination plot yun?
Maybe, sir, yes.
No, hindi maybe. NBI kayo nag-aano eh. May nagsabi sa presidente, papatayin kita. How much plain can that be as an assassination plot?
That's why, sir, may validation process.
That's why may validation. Kaya yung tanong ko, ano ba mas mabigat, yung assassination plot o yung cyber aspect?
No, Your Honor.
Diretso yung tanong. Hindi no. Anong mas mabigat? It's a direct question. If you were NBI director now or whatever, you were PNP chief, dalawang iniimbestigahan mo, yung cyber aspect na pwedeng cyber libel, pwedeng grave threat, at yung assassination plot, ano mas mabigat sa dalawa? Ano yung prioritize mo?
Your Honor, yung cyber aspect, based on the law, mag-a-add siya ng 1 degree higher doon sa...
So, magdidebate tayo kung anong higher, papabayaan mong mapatay ang presidente.
Kindly wind up, Senator
Yes,
Judge.
I'm winding up. The point I want to make, Mr. President, is whether I was the PSC, the Executive Secretary, NBI, or an ordinary citizen, my first concern is wag mapatay ang presidente.
Yes, sir.
But instead of the NBI director taking it upon himself, giving it to the anti-terrorist or to the intelligence, sa cybercrime binigay.
Your Honor, again, ulitin ko, yung utterances was made through information and communication technology. Kaya may
I hope if any one of my colleagues here become president, magbago yung attitude ng NBI. Mas importante pala cyber kaso sa buhay ng presidente.
Not necessarily, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
Mr. President.
Noted. Council for respondent is recognized for his recross, if any.
Just a few points, Your Honor.
You may proceed, sir, when you're ready.
So during your testimony, you mentioned that an unsigned document is a mere scrap of paper.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you also said on redirect that the lack of signature is a typographical error.
No, yung typographical error based sa tanong sa akin kanina ng abogado, yung misspelling, yung mali yung docket number, kung mali man yon, yun, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, you mentioned on redirect also about the November 26, 2024 press con, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
So after that press con, did you interview VP Sara?
No, sir.
And despite not having interviewed her, you made findings on her mental state?
No findings ng mental state, sir? What do you mean by that?
So my question is, despite not having the chance to interview VP Sara, nevertheless, you included in your investigation or findings about her mental state.
Based on the series of events, Your Honor, as I have said, state of mind can be shown through the overt acts, Your Honor.
Okay. So you